Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. We are playing Iron Nest Heavy Turret Simulator, and this is just such a cool game. As someone, I'm really into submarine sims, and it's basically like triangulating, firing, similar to a torpedo, but you're just in a kind of large floating turret in an alternate history. Um, you know uh, yeah, I don't know. Well, so I did the first two missions, and actually, so here's the kind of map we're working on. Um, and I did the first two missions just to kind of try to learn the controls, and so this is kind of the real mission, the first real mission where you get to kind of decide ordnance and all these other things. So, anti-monarchist forces have maintained an occupation of uh, Ciudad Real. I'm butchering that, aren't I? Ciudad. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. High Command has ordered the city restored to the crown. Iron Nest, that's us, has been repositioned to support the operation. Requisition procurement is authorized to meet operational requirements. Okay, so we can buy things. So we wake up in our bunk at the bottom of the turret, and it's very wobbly right now because we're actually on the move. Another really cool thing is that the whole game is like you see here's that opening map, and so basically the entire game is within the environment, like the menu system, etc. You've got like early supporters of the game and a kind of monument wall here. Like the main menu is here where we can also brew some coffee, which is very goofy, just sort of like fun with levers and pulleys and that sort of thing. I don't think anything else happens here, although it does talk about system pressure. Maybe you do have to do things downstairs. I don't know if it unlocks more things, but basically we're going to go up to our main control room here. And this would be such a great game in VR, I'm sure. Maybe they will do that someday. And so this is our turret. Now you can't zoom, which is a bit of a shame. But like that's what we're kind of looking out on. If I actually go around the guns here, so this we have a right and a left gun. And so this is the giant gun, and then we can go right to the front here, and oh, and I guess there's more supporters on the gun. That's pretty funny. Yeah, founding operators. Um, and so yeah, like we can kind of look out on what the gun is looking out on there. Um, Not much else you can do. You can like just jump down. I don't think there's any fall damage in this game. Yeah, they're just all written on the turret there. So we'll just go around the full circle of our nest. I don't think there's anything you can do under here. So there's not a lot of repairing, as far as I'm aware. I don't know for sure, but yeah, basically the game is all about like read your instructions from high command. We're going to plot our coordinates on the table, calculate based on bearing and distance, what is the elevation of the gun, load the gun with the right ammunition, set the bearing, set the elevation, and then fire. Um, and that is about it. And we have a record here. I guess I could put some music on. Hopefully it's not too loud. Uh, but yeah, that does seem the sort of thing we would want. Let's see actually what the level is there. Yeah, I'm worried that's gonna bother. I'm not gonna. Okay, we're gonna go without music for now. All right. So yeah, okay. So basically, let's go see what High Command's orders are. So essentially, the city is to be cleared of hostile elements. Destroy 5 hostile infantry units. We can use the requisition console. Spotter bearings are accurate to about zero point 0.5 degrees. So yeah, and then right. So we've repositioned the iron nest. So another cool thing is you've got like this clipboard. So I'm gonna just mark down where we are actually located, and then our observation assets will mark those guys down too. So then the adjacent typewriter over here is going to give us more information about the current mission. So we care about 5 infantry, and note that the first 3 we do have some information. Infantry 4 and 5 incomplete intelligence. So what we're going to do is we're going to just write down infantry 1 and their info, infantry 2 and infantry 3. We don't really have anything on the others. And so now it's time to start plotting what we're going to do. So the city is going to be like we can see there's a city here. I'm not sure what that symbol is. Not all the symbolism is sort of noted. Looks like a village or something, but you can see there are things to just kind of give you some keys. I don't think it's can't flip this keyboard, so that's kind of all we've got. So what we're going to do is let's first put down where is the iron nest itself. So it's a I653. So grid I6 and then internal position 53. So there's us. And then let's look at our assets. So we have our spotters. So spotter number 1 is I9. And he is I928. I928. And then spotter number 2 is J581. And then spotter number 3 is E242. All right. Okay. So like if so this is us, and then these are our assets that are spotting enemy activity. So the information we have is that from spotter number infantry number 1. So our infantry number 1 target, we'll mark that with this. So infantry number 1 target is a bearing of 230 degrees from spotter number 1. So if we go from spotter number 1 and then draw a line out, we're going to have bearing 230. So 230, I'm just going to draw the line fully because we don't know the distance. So there's 230, bearing 230, and we know, it's going to be in this city area, I assume, since, that's, we're told we're fighting a city. And then bearing 277 from spotter 2. So 277. And there you can see our intersection point. So they're right on the outskirts of the city, it looks like. So let's go ahead and throw that there. We may fire, but we may also, we may do a little recon spotting before we do that. Okay, so that's the first infantry. So now let's grab 2. So infantry 2 bearing 295 from spotter 2. 295. And what would be great is actually if they're close to each other, then we can, so these are up in this side, okay. 295, and then 338 from spotter 3. So 338. Okay, and yeah, I mean, if they're actually close to each other, we would be able to fire like kind of a high explosive shell and hit both of them with one shot. Okay. And then spotter. So now number 3 is interesting because it's distance only, not bearing. And I don't understand how any spotter could know a distance without a bearing because they have to be looking in a direction. Why they can't report that to us, I don't know. Incomplete report, we'll say. So either way, we need to do a distance of 693, and we don't really know the bearing. So what we can do is a kind of average, right, or sort of a guess. So 693 is right there. And so I'm just going to draw like 3 lines out, and we'll be able to intersect it from the other spotter. So there's 693 again, and we'll do another 693, a splayed a little more out this way. 693. I have to zoom, I guess. 693. There we go. Okay, and then from spotter 3, oh, did I do that wrong? Yep, I did it wrong. That's from spotter 3. Okay, so spotter 3 is 746. 746. Okay. It's unlikely that because it's not in the city, but I don't know. 746. 746. Very close to infantry 2 there. If it does turn out to be there, we'll do one more just for the hell of it. 746. Okay, so now I think the white one doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't give you coordinates for some reason. Okay, so now from spotter number 1, 693. Okay, so 693, and you can see right there. So what we really want to do is find somewhere 693 along one of these lines where, like, it looks like it's gonna be, you know, like figuring this one out more. So, okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's take away this and let's do 746 up here, right? So 746. Hmm. That's 746. And 693. Let's keep going down, down, down. Yeah, but that's 746. Interesting. Okay. Uh, yeah, I mean it's very close to there, right? So that's something pretty close to there. So that's going to be like kind of an average spot, but I do like the look of how close these two infantry are together. So what we could do is we could go send recon into like this area here, and I think if I did something like um, so yeah, so let's do our first shot, and what we're going to do is from our gun, we're going to paint an actual bearing here, and let's just sort of like we're going to do a starburst right here. So that's our first kind of target. Now, I think we don't have any ammunition right now, so let's go buy a starburst in our right gun. So a star shell uh, only costs $2. I mean, they're super cheap. We'll throw that in the left. Okay, so you've got our star shell. So let's go ahead and plot our coordinates, and then what we can do is this is going to be a star. It's going to be we'll just do a target, and then so our bearing to target is 290. So that's up here, and then we can use the little one to fine tune it. So 290. I guess 290.8. And then a distance of 7.5 kilometers. 748. All right. And then this is how many charges it's based on the distance, how many charges it's going to require. It's about like 1 charge per 5 kilometers. So now, and then the shell type, this is going to be a star. You don't, I think you're only marking this just purely for, basically you'll see when I do this, what happens is we get a little printout right here. So it's just easy to remind him to input the information. So this is going to be our recon shot, and you see our gun elevator is 44.8. So let's go ahead and load that star shell. So we will, so basically, yeah, this rolls through the selection. We've only got the one ammo. Go ahead and pump that in. And then we're going to need 2 powder kegs. So once that's been sent in, we're going to throw in 1, 2. And so it puts those charges on. And then go ahead and load it. Sorry if that is super loud. I do feel like that's probably super loud now that I'm... Let's just bring all this down to 40. Things I should check before I record, I suppose. But yeah. Okay, so... now... yeah, so now what we're going to be doing is, well, we need to get our rotation right, and so we can pull this lever, go back this way. And so everything kind of has a fast move, quote-unquote fast. You can see that's basically the fastest we can rotate. So we want to get to 290 degrees. And then while this is rotating, you can also be doing the elevation, because they kind of take a little while. So like this one, for instance, this needs to go up to 44 something. I'll just put it around there. And then, yeah, so this is going to be almost hitting 290 around now, so we'll start slowing this down. There we go. Okay, and then we can use the fine tuner. So we want 290.8. Okay, and then this we want at 44.88. All right. So that should be everything. So now let's sit in the firing seat, and you're basically going through. So like we confirmed the mission. So shell type is a star. That's what we wanted. Bearing confirmed of 290.8. Elevation confirmed 4488. And the gun is armed. So we're good. So we're firing the left gun. Lock the left gun in. And our first fire. Boom. Boom. And then on the map here, there's a little mechanical arm watching um, that's kind of showing like an automated arm that's tracking our shot here. So, and then basically once this star goes up, we're going to get some recon photos in, and we should see more about what's going on with the infantry. There you go. So there you go. And so here we can see, so the blue targets are always like friendlies, and then the enemies. So we got this pretty good, right? I was about on there. We can see that's sort of dead center for that infantry, and there's three. So we really did get very close there. That's good. And then yeah, we want to fire, and we want to be careful about hitting our fellas here. And then I guess I'll go ahead and do another infantry shot. And this is where you could, just to for efficiency's sake, we could have done that and loaded, say, the right gun and then just kind of track them together. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this. None of these are useful bearings anymore. I guess actually, yeah. And yeah, and I guess we don't need any of this information anymore. I'm going to get rid of it just because, we know where we've plotted their locations. I guess technically we don't need this, but I'll keep that as well. So, yeah, let's go for a fire shot, and we'll do the recon in a bit. So, yeah, so there's another tool over here, which I believe, if I understand this correctly, it's essentially like you can see the type of ammunition. And so I think like if it's an armor piercing, it just has this tiny little circumference. But if we roll it up to this HE ammunition, then it like really opens the, is that aperture, I guess you call it. So, ideally, this is a good example here. Like if we target this spot precisely, we should actually kill both infantry with this. Oh, I don't want to draw in here. I just want to. So, you know, I think I'm going to go for that. I'm going to try to get that. I mean, you can see they're both in here, and we don't have any civilians in that spot. So as long as we've got the calculation correct, we should be good. So I am going to go ahead and draw. We'll take that one down. So let's go ahead and draw, and let's try to, of course, see. I guess the problem is that you can see like a grid is something like what is that? A grid is half a kilometer probably. Oh, it's only about, actually looks like it's less than a tenth of a kilometer. So everything's like within a tenth of a kilometer off because I don't know where exactly I am within this, right? But hopefully that's not a big deal. And so let's go ahead and just point for that. And so we've got our new heading there. So 291 bearing, 7.5 kilometer distance. So now this is going to be, we're going after infantry here, and we're going to be firing a high explosive shell. It's funny how many different types there are. So our distance is barely changed, which makes sense. 751. Our bearing also very miniature, 291. And I guess that's it. And so we'll calculate. And so so we want 45.06. So let's go ahead and buy one. I'm actually going to buy a few HE shells since we know we're going to need them over time. So let's do one, two. I'm not quite sure how many you can have in the loader, so I don't want to overload it. Uh, yeah. Um, okay. So yeah, because we definitely want that. We we may need to buy other things, more stars. You see, the stars are very cheap, only $2. The actual guns are more, and the recon plane's a lot more. I'm actually not sure why you want a recon plane when the star shell, like the recon plane essentially takes like 4 pictures in a row. I guess it's also possible, even though it takes the pictures, I think you only really see things with, sort of a distance from this starburst, right? I also have no idea. You'd think that when you fire the starburst, that like the infantry scatters. I don't know if that really happens. My guess is it doesn't, but who knows? Um, all right, so let's move that way. Okay, so let's go for that. So we've got our thing. Oh, and then these over time start leaking. I'm not sure, how big a deal that is. Okay, so we've got our high impact shell loaded up. We need 2 powder charges again because of the distance. 1, 2. You've got to be so careful because there's no way to depowder to remove a charge or to pull the shell out. So, you'll end up having to fire it into nothing and waste it. So I guess that's still loading. 291, so we've really barely got to move anything as we learn. 291, locked for loading. I forgot to load. All right, and yeah, let's see how we do with that. Um, yeah, and I don't know, if time matters other than just your own personal time, but like I said, we could start loading the right gun with more stars or more, so we could actually start looking at doing a recon fire on this one, for example. I kind of like the idea of actually putting the stars in the left, just to, like, left is for our recon, or sorry, the right, I guess. So let's buy 2 of those in the right magazine. Okay, so, but I think we should be ready. Yeah, we need to get this elevation right. 45.06. All right, so we'll do a quick confirmation. So shell type is high explosive, bearing is 291, elevation is 4506. I think we're good, and we're firing the left gun. All right, and we'll see what that ends up doing. So yeah, like now we're basically looking at that second thing. So 2.6. So let's do a 5 kilometers, or 499, which is interesting because that does put it right down to the only 1 keg. This is going to be another star. And let's get rid of this because we don't need it anymore. But yeah, you can start. I guess the whole point is you can make a lot of targets at once and whatnot. So bearing is 265. Okay, 265.3. 2653, 499. Yeah. So what is that? Okay. And then I heard more info just came in. All right. So High Command Iron Nest. What do we get? Forward observers report probable enemy ammunition cache across the river. Priority. Conduct recon flight on P4. Neutralize with the AP ordnance. Okay. But did we hit the other guys? Oh, direct hit. Infantry 2 destroyed, infantry 3 destroyed. Perfect. And we got 5 requisition points each for those. So, yeah, there we go. So you can see kill strikes like put there for us. That's cool. And we didn't hit any of our civvy targets. Oh, what is up there? Oh, apparently we found some more infantry. That is cool. It says number 5 on it, so I guess we found number 5. Why don't we go ahead and since we're sort of approximately in that type of bearing there, let's do that. So that'll be that. So I don't think we need this anymore, but 298.845. So yeah, so 845. That's going to require 2 charges. Back to an HE and 298. 298.3. Okay, that's infantry. All right. See, and the idea now is that we don't, we're just printing out little things. So we've got these are our different targets, right? And how many keg charges they need, and you can see that's telling us, okay, so the plan was to put a star over here with firing a high explosive at infantry. So it's just kind of making notes for us and giving us info. So with that in mind, let's line up the HE target since we're already rotated towards it. So there's our HE shell. Go ahead and load it. And into the HE shell needs two charges. It says calculated. I guess that's from the machine, but so you need to watch out for that because it's it'll be whatever your last calculation was. So there we go, 2 for that. And load it. So that's our left gun. And then rotation. So we're doing the HE, so 298. Let's move that a bit faster. 298. 298.3. Okay. And then elevation. Elevation 50.7, so somewhere around there. Great. Okay. And then in the meantime, we can start loading this. So we wanted to get a star shell going. So let's go ahead and load the star. And the star only needs the 1 powder keg. It's actually right on the cusp, but that's fine. Just the 1. Load him up. Okay. And let's see. So we want at 50.7. Okay. So I think he's going to be ready to load. So our left gun, fire mission, left gun, HE2. Let's put these in the order of guns. Left, right, left, right. That's the way I'm going to think of it. So left, right. So shell type, HE, bearing of 298.3, elevation 50.7, and that's the left gun. Fire. Okay, so now we want to reposition for the star shot. So the star shot is 265.3. Whoa. Okay. 265.3. And then that's now our right one. So that needs to be 59. Quite sure how it lines up there. That's like 60. Wow. Oh yeah. So makes sense. That's pretty much right at the highest elevation it can be because we've got the lowest, the lowest charge, right? So yeah, it would either be like 2 charges and a super low, low elevation, or the opposite. Okay. How did that go? Yeah, look at that. So that's 5 gone. Assuming it will show a confirmed hit. Yeah, 5 is gone. So that was like, we didn't even know where 5 was, but just kind of, right? Like 5, intelligence incomplete, active in friendly urban sectors. So you really got to just fire recons over, over the city areas and try to get it. So really what we'll probably do is fire some sort of recon over here, which we're probably going to do anyway. Actually, I just realized that I didn't take any recon of this. Okay. Oh no, that's what I'm doing now. I'm doing the star pattern, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's it. So let's fire that. Okay, so that's set to 6. We just want to bring it in a tad. 59.88. Okay, so do we have everything? So we're firing the right gun. And that one's done now. So 59.88. Shell type is star. Bearing confirmed at 265.3. Elevation 59.88. Gun armed. Right gun. Boom. All right. Okay, so yeah, can't really. We could load another HE while we wait, but we do need thing. And now we need to work on this priority target as well. So P4. So it said to use a recon flight, which I haven't used yet. It's quite expensive, but I think they just want to kind of show you the point of it. So we're gonna do P4. So P4, and then we can set the bearing. We're just gonna, I think we'll just like fly north, right? Basically over P4 here, we'll just fly north and look for whatever that thing is. I guess technically you could do P3. Maybe we'll do P3, and then it can get like the full sequence. So, and then boom, and there you go. So we got like our thing, and there you can see. So it starts there, starts kind of at the like outer edge there. It goes all the way up. So you get a big photo, but yeah. And so there's our target there. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna get rid of these. Let's go ahead and draw over to that. So that'll be our priority target, AP target. Okay, so what do we get here? So there's the starboard. So yeah, once again, very close to our actual infantry right there. And then we found number 4 right there, which is awesome. So let's go ahead. I'll paint these in now. So this one is our infantry 1, and this one is our infantry 4. And it does look like we're going to have to get individual shots because we can't get an HE shot right there. And like I'm not too worried that the HE is going to hit. Like, you know, it's not too close to anything. I guess that's a little bit on the. So what it would make more sense to kind of actually fire a little to the right of it, right? So that you don't, like, if I fire directly on the shot that I've made there, you know, skirting the blast radius. So let's go ahead and just go a little bit further along there, and we'll make that our second target, like further over there, like that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so we've got our targets. Let's go with the high priority. Well, I mean, we're already turned this way, so I guess we should really go for this. And it's kind of interesting, like we could load an HE in one gun, and yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. Let's buy an HE for the, and then you've got to kind of keep track of the different. So with the right gun, we need an HE shell in the right gun. All right, so there's an HE, and actually, and then at some point we're gonna need an AP. Let's go ahead and just throw that on the right. AP will be our right. Okay. All right. Okay. So, so what we're gonna do is same deal here. Let's actually do our targets. So we'll start with those 2 lower ones. So just to confirm, the 2 bottom targets I've written down are for the so the 2 targets down here are for our infantry. So we need a distance down to about 5. So this one is 2 kegs, very low elevation, kind of interesting. But I think we're just going to need to do that, I guess. It probably would actually hit. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just not risk it. So 2 kegs. So this is at 264. 264.8. And this is an infantry target HE. So, yeah. Okay. 5.808 distance, 264.8. Yes. Okay. So, and then you're going to be, I guess, our left gun. And then our next one is 591. And 269. 269 on the dot. Okay. HE target. 269 591. Boom. Okay, and you'll be our right gun. Okay. So this should be for our thing. So yeah, let's just get going with that. So we need to load an HE shell in the left, and it needs, they both need 2 charges. 1, 2. Load you. And then same deal here. So now, yeah, you're going to be an HE shell as well. And you're also going to need 2 charges. One, 2. So see, like the pressure. Oh, that's just storage. Yeah, I don't know about what the pressure gauges do. And then we'll load you. Okay, so we've got 2 HEs loaded. So yeah, let's do it. Now this is already set kind of low. So so the left gun we want 30.48. Okay, and then the right gun is going to be 35.46. I'm actually surprised the elevation is so high given 2 powder kegs at that, you know, at the very bottom of 5 kilometers, but maybe that's just sort of, yeah. So 35.46. 35.46. Okay. So, yeah, and then let's start with number 1. So 264.8. Okay. So, we'll just go again. So, left gun, 30.4. So shell type HE, bearing 264.8, elevation 3048. We are good. And the gun is armed. So, left gun, fire. Okay. Now, we just need to slightly adjust the turret to 269. 269. And then, and I guess, oh, you can also, I mean, for whatever, like check it off. Okay, so 269. So same deal. So shell type HE, bearing 269, 35.46. Right gun armed. Lock in. Fire. All right. See how we did, I guess. Oh, it looks like, yeah, so he's gone. And our next one, hopefully, and then the key is we don't hit this civilian building. All right. I see another X down. Sweet. And yeah. Destroyed. High command still needs that ammo bunker eliminated. Hit it with AP. Yeah. So it's probably mad that I didn't prioritize it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get all that sorted out. And we can get rid of these now. Whoop. Okay. So it's the top one. So 6.63, and we have to really turn the turret around. 6.63. That will be 2 charges. And then, yeah, we're going for a high-value target. I think it's that one. I mean, it doesn't matter again. I think it's just, and then this could be AP. So bearing is 101. Okay. Bearing 101.9. Calculate. Okay. And then, where did we throw? I think it's on the right gun, right? There's our AP shell. So we'll load the AP shell on the right gun. 2 charges. 1, 2. Load. And then we need, can't do elevation while it's loading. So, yeah, we need to get all the way over to 101. We're kind of right on the opposite end of the rotation, so it didn't matter what direction we go. And then how are we doing on here? So this needs to be 39, yeah, somewhere around there. 39.78. .78. I've probably gone too far on the rotation. Yep, knew it. I wonder if like jamming it should like pop the pressure out a bit, but yeah. All right, 101.9. There we go. Okay, so I think we're good. So we're going to be doing right gun, shell type AP, bearing 101.9, elevation 39.78, gun armed. There goes our armor piercer. And let's see how we do. I can't tell. It's funny. It's sort of like, where is the actual like target? But yeah. Boom. All right. So priority target supply cache destroyed. Got 75 requisition out of that. So the 60 we spent on the photo recon, we got a little back. Sector cleared. Local garrison will consolidate from this point, stand down until further orders. So basically, we can just go to bed. A hard day's work accomplished. Nothing to. Something's fizzing. I don't know what happens if we go to bed while we leave this pipe blown up. And I'm not sure, like, so I mean, you can undo it too. So it's like, if I let all this out, yeah, I mean, I guess the pressure's going down. Then you tighten it up. Does it start going up again? Yeah, it goes back up. So I don't know. I think it's just a little, yeah, little extra things to kind of keep maintained. Otherwise, you know, not the actual machine won't work. But yeah, it's so much fun. I don't know how much more involved it gets. Different ammo types. You know, moving targets. I assume is going to happen, which is pretty cool. Like, you know, you'll look at the recon, and I mean, obviously not stationary targets, but because yeah, I think actually, yeah, right now it's all been, for some reason, the infantry stationary. I guess. I mean, yeah, I guess they could be safe. But like, oh, I thought I saw something like between stationary and not. But you know, oh yeah, structure immobile. So, you know, like if it's kind of telling you roughly how much it's moving, and you have to kind of try to shoot ahead of it, would be cool. Or you know, yeah. There's a stopwatch down there. I don't think you can. Can't actually use the stopwatch. That'd be interesting too. But yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now. Oh my God. Actually, I had no idea there was a whole thing under here to start the engine. I was gonna go to bed. That was the plan. What is this? Engine startup. I guess that will be something we have to do at some point. Maybe the engine blows up. I went to the wrong place. Where's the bed? It's here, right? So much for that smooth outro, and I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, we forgot about our little kitty. Oh, he knew we were coming to bed. The Royal City reclaimed. Boom. Got an achievement. 100% accuracy. Love it. I assume I got... Oh, I just got a bunch of awards. Conducted fire operations with minimal casualties. Exceptional average accuracy. Sustained consecutive kills across successive fire missions. Alright. Oh, and I've just unlocked an... I can't read that. Incendiary shell. Ignites a fire on impact. Yeah, awesome. Okay, now we're really living. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.